Imagine stepping into your backyard as the sun drops early. The air feels quieter and everything looks softer, like the day is exhaling. Then you notice it, a garden fence that isn't wood or metal or something you bought. It's glowing gently beside your herbs, warm, calm, and almost impossible to ignore. Imagine bicycle rims rising like quiet halos, holding tiny lantern jars that catch the last light. Imagine broken mirror pieces turning one small corner into a deeper, brighter garden. Not loud, not flashy, just beautiful in a way that slows your steps. Tonight, you're about to see 10 trash fence transformations that feel like designer work. Built for small backyards, and once you see them, you won't look at junk the same way again. Welcome back to Backyard Fortune, where we turn everyday leftovers into tiny garden miracles. If you love small backyards, edible gardens, and fences that look expensive, while secretly being made from things you almost threw away, you're in the right place. Today we're walking through 10 calm, cozy fence transformations with a warm, peaceful seasonal vibe, soft light, quiet corners, and that end-of-day garden calm we all need. If even one idea sparks something in you, subscribe and stay with this series. And please share this video to your WhatsApp groups and on Facebook so more garden lovers can dream with us. To everyone who watches and shares, I truly wish you long life, good health, and peaceful days in your own backyard. One Bottle Blossom Glow Fence. Imagine stepping into your garden just as the light begins to soften. The air cools, the noise of the day fades, and something gentle begins to glow beside your path. Not bright, not loud, just enough to slow your steps. Along the edge of the soil, soft flower shapes appear, each one born from a simple plastic bottle, reshaped by patient hands and quiet intention. Their warm glow settles into the leaves below, brushing against rosemary, mint, and tiny wild blooms that seem to lean closer, drawn by the light. This fence does not divide space. It gathers it. What once held drinks now holds calm. What once waited to be thrown away now stands as a reminder that beauty often begins when we pause long enough to notice potential. The glow doesn't compete with the garden, it listens to it. It warms the soil, softens shadows, and invites the evening to linger just a little longer. As the sun lowers, the bottles shimmer gently, catching reflections of leaves, sky, and passing moments. Nothing here is perfect, and that's what makes it comforting. It feels lived in. It feels kind. And as the path curves forward, this quiet light leads the way, toward another corner, another story, another small miracle waiting to unfold. Two Bicycle Rim Halo Fence. Imagine walking along a quiet garden path as the day begins to slow. The light softens, shadows stretch, and then you notice them, gentle circles rising from the earth, calm and balanced, like echoes of motion now at rest. These bicycle rims once traveled roads and carried stories of movement. Now, they stand still, holding space instead of speed. Wrapped in climbing vines and softened by hanging lantern jars, they become something new, a boundary that doesn't divide, but welcomes. As the sun lowers, warm light gathers inside the glass jars, drifting outward in quiet waves. The herbs below respond softly, releasing their scent as if acknowledging the moment. Nothing competes for attention. Everything belongs. This fence doesn't block the view. It frames it. The repeated circles create rhythm, guiding the eye gently forward, inviting slow steps and unhurried breaths. Metal, plant, and light come together in a way that feels both grounded and poetic, proof that beauty doesn't need perfection, only intention. And as the path curves beyond the last glowing ring, another idea waits just ahead, ready to turn an ordinary corner into something quietly unforgettable. Three, Mosaic mirror fruit courtyard panel. Imagine stepping into a corner of your garden where the light behaves differently. Not louder, not brighter, just deeper. A mosaic panel waits quietly against the fence, made from fragments that once reflected ordinary rooms and passing days. Now, those same pieces catch the sky, the leaves, the soft movement of air. Nothing appears whole, yet everything feels complete. As sunlight touches the surface, it scatters gently across the space, stretching the garden wider than it truly is. Strawberries glow a little brighter beneath it. Herbs lift their scent as if responding to the warmth. The mirror doesn't show your reflection clearly. Instead, it shows the garden becoming more than it was a moment before. There is comfort in these broken pieces. They remind us that beauty doesn't require perfection, only attention. Each fragment holds a memory of light, returning it slowly, patiently, throughout the day. This panel doesn't demand to be noticed. It waits. And when you do notice it, the garden feels deeper, calmer, almost endless. A quiet illusion that invites you to linger just a little longer, before your eyes wander onward, toward the next small wonder waiting nearby. Four, Rustic crate pantry wall. Imagine stepping into a garden where the fence doesn't simply stand still, it feeds you. Wooden crates, once used for carrying and storing, now rest gently against the wall, filled with life once more. Their edges are softened by time, their surfaces warmed by the sun. From each open space, something grows. Lettuce folds itself into quiet layers. Rosemary reaches outward, steady and calm. Kale stretches upward, catching the last light of the afternoon. This wall doesn't rush. It provides, patiently, generously, as if reminding us that abundance doesn't need to be loud. The crates hold more than plants. They hold intention. Every scratch, every worn corner tells a story of use, of purpose renewed. Light weaves through the gaps, settling gently on leaves and soil, turning the wall into a living pantry rather than a barrier. Here, the garden feels honest, useful, alive. Not a display, but a relationship between hands, earth, and time. As evening approaches and the greens deepen in color, this quiet wall invites you to pause, and then gently guides you forward, toward the next idea waiting just beyond the corner. Five, Mirror ladder herb story wall. Imagine a ladder that no longer climbs upward, but instead invites life to grow downward and outward. Resting quietly against the garden fence, it carries the memory of work once done, now transformed into something softer, slower, and full of care. Each rung holds a small moment, basil catching the light, rosemary standing firm, thyme spilling gently over the edge. Behind them, a subtle mirror reflects fragments of sky and leaves, quietly expanding the space without ever demanding attention. The garden feels deeper here, as if it's breathing just a little wider. This wall doesn't try to impress. It listens. Light drifts across the surface, changing with every hour. Shadows stretch, retreat, and return again. The ladder becomes a quiet storyteller, reminding us that growth doesn't always reach upward. Sometimes it leans, adapts, and finds beauty in stillness. As you stand before it, time softens. The noise of the day fades. What remains is a gentle balance between structure and freedom, effort and ease. And just as your eyes finish tracing the final rung, another idea begins to reveal itself, waiting patiently just beyond this calm moment. Six, tin can pastel pocket trellis fence. Imagine a fence that doesn't stand still, but gently moves with the air. Soft pastel tins hang quietly, catching light as the breeze passes through, creating a rhythm you feel more than hear. Each can holds a small life, mint lifting its scent, marigold glowing softly, tiny leaves stretching toward the sun. This fence doesn't ask for attention. It simply exists, adding calm where there once was empty space. The pastel tones soften the garden's edges, allowing color to appear without shouting. When the wind moves, the cans sway lightly, brushing against one another in a quiet dance that feels almost like a whisper. It's not music, it's presence. Here, nothing feels heavy. The structure breathes. The plants move freely. And the garden feels kinder, more forgiving, as if inviting you to slow down and stay a little longer. As the light shifts and shadows stretch across the ground, this gentle fence becomes a reminder that beauty doesn't need to be fixed or firm. Sometimes, it's found in small movements, soft colors, and the simple joy of watching something grow, quietly, beautifully, and at its own pace. Seven, wicker basket herb curtain. Imagine walking beside a garden that doesn't close itself off, it breathes with you. Instead of solid walls, woven baskets sway gently, filtering the light as if the garden itself were exhaling. Each basket carries something alive. Mint lifts its cool scent into the air. Basil opens toward the sun. Rosemary stands steady, grounding the space with quiet strength. As the breeze passes through, the baskets move softly, never still, never rushed. The garden feels awake, but unhurried. This curtain doesn't separate. It connects. Light passes through the woven fibers, casting gentle patterns that shift across the ground. Shadows dance, soften, and disappear. The space feels lighter here, not empty, but open. Inviting. Calm. There's a quiet beauty in how everything moves together. Nothing is forced. Nothing is rigid. Just a rhythm of nature and handcrafted care working in harmony. As you stand there, time seems to loosen its grip. The garden becomes a place to breathe, to pause, to listen. And just beyond this soft curtain, another idea waits patiently, ready to guide you deeper into the quiet magic of the space. Eight, clay pot thermal bounty border. Imagine walking along a garden path where the ground itself seems to remember the warmth of the sun. Beneath your feet, clay pots rest quietly, holding the day's heat and releasing it slowly as the air begins to cool. These simple vessels, once shaped by hand and fire, now form a gentle border, guiding the garden without forcing it. Some lean slightly, others stand firm, each one shaped by time and touch. Nestled between them, herbs stretch outward, strawberries peek from the soil, and moss softens every edge. There is something comforting about clay. It remembers warmth. It holds care. As evening approaches, the earth stays kind beneath your steps. The plants respond, staying vibrant a little longer, protected by the quiet work of the pots beneath them. Nothing here is rushed. Nothing is wasted. This border doesn't demand attention. It offers reassurance, a reminder that even the simplest materials can nurture life when placed with intention. And as the path curves gently forward, the warmth lingers just long enough to lead you toward the next idea, waiting patiently, where oath and imagination meet. Nine, fabric tapestry fence plus suitcase planter bench. Imagine stepping into a garden corner where time feels softer. A fabric tapestry sways gently, catching the light like a memory drifting through the air. Beneath it rests a worn suitcase, once a traveler's companion, now a quiet home for growing life. The fabric moves with the breeze, softening the space, turning hard lines into gentle curves. Shadows ripple across the ground as sunlight filters through its folds. Nearby, herbs stretch upward from the suitcase, their leaves brushing against the fabric as if greeting an old friend. This is not a fence meant to separate. It's a boundary made of stories, of journeys taken, of moments held, of things once useful becoming meaningful again. The suitcase doesn't carry clothes anymore. It carries patience. It carries growth. It holds the kind of beauty that comes from slowing down and allowing time to leave its mark. Here, the garden feels personal, human, warm. As the fabric continues its quiet dance, the space invites you to pause, to remember that even the simplest objects can hold tenderness when given a second life. And just beyond this gentle corner, another idea waits, ready to unfold with the same quiet grace. Ten, wooden spoon and cutting board character fence. Imagine reaching the end of a garden path where familiar shapes quietly greet you. Wooden spoons and cutting boards, once part of everyday meals, now stand side by side, gently shaped into figures that feel almost alive. They don't speak, yet they tell stories. Stories of hands that cooked, shared, and gathered. Of meals made slowly, laughter echoing softly, and moments that linger long after the table is cleared. Here, the garden feels personal, human. Each wooden form leans slightly, as if in conversation, as if aware of the life growing around it. Herbs brush against their sides, leaves catching light and shadow in a gentle rhythm. Nothing here tries to impress, it simply invites you to stay. This fence is not a boundary. It is a welcome. A reminder that beauty often comes from what we've already held close. Tools worn smooth by care, objects shaped by time, memories waiting to be seen again. As the sun lowers and warmth settles across the garden, these quiet companions stand watch, reminding us that even the simplest things can carry the deepest sense of belonging. And with that gentle feeling, the garden rests, whole, peaceful, and full of quiet life. And that's the real magic of a garden fence like this. It doesn't just mark a boundary, it changes how the space feels. If one idea stayed in your mind, don't let it live only on the screen. Look around your home, your storage corner, your junk pile, and see what it could become. Tell me in the comments, which fence would you build first? And if you have your own twist, share it, so our backyard fortune community can borrow it kindly. Until next time, keep planting hope, keep seeing beauty where others see trash. And may your days be calm, warm, and full of quiet garden magic.